Okay, so let's go back to what we were discussing. That was about the amateurs, I understand. And Rick, I don't believe you said everything you wanted to say. Is that right?
No, I think what Kane was asking was he definitely was talking about the problems that clubs have and why haven't they worked out their issues. And I just think it's a really tough thing in Second Life because everybody can do their own thing here. And there's been many attempts for people to get together to try to make changes as a whole. And I think that's always been a problem because Second Life is really set up to be a, it's set up that way that anybody can come in here and do anything that they want.
Bones, excuse me, you already said that, and
Yeah,
we would
well,
like to hear.
I was just responding to Kane, that's all.
Oh, okay. We would like to hear what Rick has to say on that, about amateurs.
About amateurs. Well, I mean, I think everybody can start somewhere. You know, I've talked about this with friends a lot, too. As a real life DJ, I've certainly got 24 years of experience. But there's also, I mean, it gives the Second Life gives DJs the opportunity to learn and start somewhere. Where kind of like Bones said, you know, with musicians, they might not get that chance. So I mean, I don't think having an amateur DJ is bad. I mean, as long as they learn and they perfect their craft, then there's nothing wrong with it. You know.
All right, everybody, I would like to introduce you all to another member of our panel, this ChicagoSax, and I understand, yeah, he is also a live musician. ChicagoSax, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
Chicago, have you got voice? Well, since you were responding to the chat, you already hear us, so...
Sound is on here. Hello, hello.
Welcome.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, well, since we have another professional musician on the panel, ChicagoSax, same question to you. What do you think about amateurs? Do they have a place in Second Life, or should they just like go away and leave it to professionals? And I said all that while turned away from you. But that's Second Life, so it's expected. Oh, God. Okay, ChicagoSax, that's a pity. ChicagoSax just informed us that his voice
1
is
2
having
1
problems.
1 1 1.
ChicagoSax, we hear you.
Hello, hello. There we go.
There you are. Please talk. Oh God, welcome to Second Life, everybody. ChicagoSax, are you going to answer the question? That's exactly right, Nick. Nick just said that Second Life voice, we all have got to love it.
Well, we're all used to how it goes.
But
you know, sometimes.
Just to make a note, I definitely believe that the beauty of Second Life is that anybody can come in here and do anything, and a lot of people get a lot better at it because they get to practice here. So I think there's room for everything here.
So amateurs should be given a chance, after all.
Okay, you got me? There we go. Sorry about that. You gotta love Second Life. Bones, hello, how are you, man? And everybody else.
Chicago, how you been, man?
Good, brother. Good. You know, you were talking about giving everybody a chance, and the Second Life allowing everybody a chance to hone their skills, or to get some confidence in becoming. Let's talk about musicians at this point, because you and I are one at this point, Bones, but we're all entertainers in our own way. It doesn't really matter if we're a hostess or a comedian or whatever it is. We are, we're entertainers. The thing that a lot of club owners, and I was going to type this in. I had a club owner come to me a while back, a very successful club, but again, not making any money. You know, it doesn't, as you say, it doesn't matter about how many people are in the club. It's those who want to, and how can I don't want to denigrate anybody, but what I would like to say is that people in Second Life who come here are a lot of them who are citizens of Second Life are unlimited incomes, and they come here because they can't go anywhere else. They're infirm or whatever, or they can't get out of the house, and they're on this limited income. So we can't expect them to be tipping everybody all day. Someone just told me the other day they spend $5,000 a day tipping, and you know that's a lot of dough. And you know there's a musician out here, Bones. You and I know quite well that he's no longer around, but he started charging for shows.
Yeah.
And he was doing 5 and 10 shows. Well, he was doing. I was working. I think you know who I mean. And I was working with him as an avatar band, and he was making big money. And then all of a sudden he decided to charge for shows instead. And he was doing 3 shows a day. And then the people were coming to me and saying, Sax, they say, what's going on? Why is he doing this? I can't afford this. You know, and as you were saying before about clicks and whatnot, you know, followers are clicks, and sometimes it's a social affair. Second Life is a social affair, just like any bar or club in real life. You know, you go there and you meet your friends. I used to work in clubs 5 nights a week, and couldn't believe that I saw the same faces every night, because you know, I mean, you could only do so many tunes you know, on a set, and bands don't have 200 tunes, you know. But it's so what you do is we don't expect clubs to support the band, but at the same time we or the attendees or the followers or the people who come to the club. But at the same time, there are a lot of musicians out there that are charging big money that hardly anyone can afford. And so let's say that I pay a musician 5,000 linden to come and do a show. Now that guy comes with a great following, and then all of a sudden he's getting tips again, which totals another 5,000. Now, and they forget the club.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's where my wallet comes into play. I have to keep the place open. Now, I'm trying to supply the best musicians I can, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's draining. As I said, a millionaire, you need 2 million to become a millionaire in this NSL. I'm sorry, that was long.
As a DJ, I mean, I do it for the music. I don't rely on tips. I mean, it's not important to me. You know, it's just not something that, sometimes I won't even log in. There's been times that we'll get together and play, and no tips are necessary. You know, it's more about the music to me, as a musician and a DJ. But I understand where you're coming from, that sometimes people, well, they're putting forth their effort and need something to get out of it as far as money wise, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, I played 2-3 times, sometimes 3 times a day in SL, and I'm you know, in some places I'm not making any money at all, but it's for the love of playing. I've been doing this for the last 50 years. And yeah, I made money at one time, but here in Second Life, you know, you make a few bucks, and you're able to buy a hairpiece or some shoes, but you know, it is a labor of love for sure.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Okay, hold on, Please hold on. Why not? He's wanting to say something, but her voice sadly is not working.
I think I came back
so
again. It keeps going in and out. Yeah, I don't know what's with my voice in here.
Well, while it's in, please tell us what you wanted to say.
Well, I wanted to say, and it was some time ago, so maybe it doesn't even fit in here. But you know, the longer I've been in Second Life, the more I prefer live music venues to, you know, DJs and bars and stuff. I think that my tastes have changed since I've been in here for a longer period of time, and I wonder if that's something that happens with a lot of people in Second Life, or if it's just me.
I wonder how Rick takes it, because he is a DJ. Rick, do you okay, I'm not sure
Yes,
if it's the
yes.
correct question to ask, but evidently there are people who think that DJs are inferior to live musicians.
I don't
Now,
think she said
that's your
that.
words, not mine. I said my
Yeah.
preference
Yeah,
has
that's
changed.
something I
Kind
can't
of
agree with.
changed what I said.
Yeah. She-
Yeah, that's not what
Um,
she. Why not say it?
my
But
Well,
opinion
if
is
that
No, I
that
didn't say
if
that
that
at
was
all.
if that was true, there'd be no radio.
okay, that's
my
true.
opinion is more that I mean I agree with more what Bones said about there's a place for everyone. I don't
Right.
think anybody's inferior to anyone else. I mean we're all here for music in one way or the other.
No, wait, I don't
So
want you to think I said that because I didn't say that at all. She's
Yeah, that was me,
translated it
actually.
wrong. She said that.
whether I mean I would love to go to a comedy club. I never even knew that existed. You know I've been in the music
Neither
business
did I.
That's
the
what
whole
I
time.
get into. Please, one more question to why not?
Can
So
I say what
comedy-
I said so that everybody knows what I really said? I said
Sure.
Yeah,
that
please.
as I've been in Second Life longer, my preferences have changed. I used to go to all the DJ clubs and dance and get in those contests and win prizes, but my tastes have changed the longer I've been on Second Life to preferring to go to live music venues over going to clubs with DJs.
Sure, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I think all of our tastes have changed the longer that we've been here. It's a matter of personal preference and what you want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. at
Well,
all.
that's the sweetness of Second Life. You can explore things you haven't before.
Wow. Why is also a dancer in theater? Okay, why not? I want to apologize that I have reiterated your words in a harsher way.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I
DJs,
was just trying to be funny.
most DJs do spin live. Most, not all. Most do spin live, and spinning a 2-hour set and picking out your music and mixing is actually an art form, and it's not easy.
Oh, I'm
That's
not
also
saying
true.
that it's not easy. I'm
No,
just saying
I-
my tastes have changed. I agree. Lots of these DJs work really hard. And they have a lot harder job than some of the live singers because
Between this Abby and my first, over 7 years, and my taste varies. It depends on my mood. I guess that's how a lot of SL is.
Well, I've seen some beautiful dance routines, some beautiful dance troupes, quite entertaining.
I
Of
think a
course,
lot of
there
this
are.
gets back to the intrinsic value. I mean, we put a value on a head of hair and a pair of shoes, and we put a value on all these things in Second Life. I mean, people will go out and spend 5,000 lindens on a sex bed with a pink and a blue pose ball, But when it gets down to the actual pain of time and paying for a musician or putting out a tip jar and getting tipped, I think there's a big disconnect here because really, in reality, it's like I guarantee you, I could not get one person in here who isn't a musician. If you're a lawyer, if you're a graphic artist, if you're a programmer, if you're something else, I don't think I could find one person in Second Life who does any of those other disciplines and say, come to my club and program for an hour and I'll throw out a tip jar for you.
There you go.
There's
True.
not going to be one person in this
Absolutely.
world that's going to do it. There's not. An attorney came to my sim one day and told me the music should be for free and you should come play for me for free. And I said, I'll trade you. Here, you give me an hour of legal advice and I'll
There
give
you
you
go.
an hour of music. I'm a professional
Hey.
musician. But
Exactly.
you know what?
Sit
They left and said, no way.
Here,
And
here.
The value imbalance is really bad. So I really think this goes back to the original, KT, this is your original thing. Do we invite other people to come in here to participate in this world? And will we ever encourage even better, more talented people to come in amongst all of the people who are still learning? I think therein lies a major problem because we still put the value of music off on the club owner, on the person who's running the club. They are the ones that incur it, and the tip jars just don't seem to work. Everybody wants to get paid for their time, and there are a lot of people who don't want to get paid for their time. And I think all of these things, all of the stuff that we've been talking about, they represent a real difficult challenge for the music community in Second Life for the future. Otherwise, we'll just continue to kind of plod along where we are, and that's fine for most of us, and most people will be perfectly happy. But I think that there's great potential for other things to happen, and it might be simply, you know, putting the cost of music, a very small cost, out to the community, rather than just having artists, DJs, musicians donate their time for free and make the venues pay for it. I just think there's a real thing that needs to be addressed in the community for us to grow to another level. Otherwise, it's just going to stay the same, and we'll be having this discussion next year.
Well, let me give you a quick example. On Thursday, I'll be arriving in Minnesota, up in Minneapolis for the Twin Cities Jam. There will be 65 people there. 40, over 50 of them are musicians. Maybe let's say about almost 3/4 are musicians. Now, they're not getting paid. They're traveling. They're incurring their own costs to share, and that's what the jams are all about. They're sharing. Bones, you've been to them, you know what I'm talking about.
I know, yeah.
And that's a great thing. But you know, Bones, and again, it takes time. As musicians, we know that a 1 hour set takes an hour to get ready for.
Yep.
Plus, and that's just in Second Life, you know, getting there, you know, getting the LM down and all those things. Plus, the fact is that you said before, all the training we've gone through in our lives, all the ups and the downs in the music business, you know, it comes to the fore here. And for someone to come in, that's why open mic is good for I really enjoy going to open mic to see people come in here and develop and say, man, I remember the first open life or the first awards thing that they came through, new artist awards or whatnot, and they've really come along. But the Minneapolis, any of the SL jams are great because it's just a matter of everybody's there just to make music.
Okay,
ChicagoSax,
Bones.
The same thing with comedians and everything else. Yeah, there's a space in Second Life for everybody.
Right.
ChicagoSax, Bones, excuse me, you are talking about one subject for quite a while, and we understand your point, but you have raised a very nice issue about getting paid for the gig, and I think that Leila has something to say about it, since she's a club owner, and of course she has to deal with finances.
Sure.
Leila.
Well, in the SL club
Absolutely,
scene,
guys, yeah.
Yes.
What's that, Rick?
in the club scene,
Yeah, go on.
in my club scene, let's just say, there's no money to be made. Club owners do not make a penny. Sometimes we might get a donation. Most times it's saved for the host, manager, DJ. I know me, I spend, when my club is open, 5,000 lindens a day to tip each set, each host, each manager, each DJ. That's 10 hours of music each day we're open. So it's a lot of costs incurred. Somebody did recommend to me that maybe charge for our group. The problem with that is so many people in SL do not have money that if I started charging for the group in order to, let's say, get in, I would have probably nobody in the club. And there's so many clubs and it's so saturated that they would just go somewhere else.
But they'll pay $1,000 to go to a sex group.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, that's true.
Here's the thing. There was $1.8 million spent in Second Life last month. I don't really believe that that's the case, that somebody can't afford to pay 75 cents to come to see somebody really good. It doesn't mean that there shouldn't be open mics where new people come in and get to cut their teeth, and there's all of these other places for them to play. But just like in real life, are you going to go spend $50 to go see Betty Sue from Sheboygan, Illinois, sing a bad out of tune karaoke after you're going to go?
You love that
You're gonna
Betty
go
Sue,
see the
don't you?
Rolling Stones. Who would you pay for? And I think in the realm of Second Life, the problem is that you're right. The Second Life is putting the onus on you to pay for the entertainment, where it's really should be a shared kind of expense amongst the community. I'm all for playing and giving of my time and everything. I've been doing it for 10 years. Chicago knows. I played for years here. I've probably made maybe over 1,000 benefits that I've played. We all have. We've all given in that way, but really it's the listener that just says, "Oh, I'm too poor. I don't have enough money," and they'll go out and they'll, like you said, I'll go out and join 1,000 Linden a month sex club. So it's like really, it's a kind of a really split scene. And I just really think that it might also be based on the value of what you get. Obviously, if you're seeing somebody stand on stage for an hour and play and he says, "Okay, pass in the stream 3, 2, 1, and it's the same thing over and over and over again, there is no perceived value. But I think there are things that we can do, just like you do in clubs, where you have the dance clubs and people are doing more and more cool things in their builds and offering more of that social type of environment and more of that interaction. I think those are the things that represent a perceived value. And maybe we would find that we might end up getting more support from the community if we came up with some way to make it so it wasn't overbearing on them, but it didn't just completely say, "You guys all give us what you have and you pay for it and we'll enjoy it."
Well, they say only a musician will put $5,000 worth of equipment in a $500 car and drive 50 miles to play a 4-hour gig for $50.
That's right.
Okay.
It's so true.
Why not? Excuse me, I have a question for why not. Since she represents a different kind of Second Life entertainment, which is no way less interesting. She's from Canada. Why not? What's your opinion on like how differently comedy and music have got spread out in Second Life? That comedy did not take off as much as music industry.
Actually, Tuesdays I'm at supposedly the longest standing comedy club in Second Life, and the other two are only very recent, like within the past year and a half or 2 years. So,
but that's comparing to thousands of music clubs.
Exactly. So there's very little comedy that we have found, but I think that the fact that there are 3 places that have comedy that I know of, and there may be more that I don't know of, that have
okay,
been
Rose
around.
disagrees. Comedy is making a comeback, she says. Okay. So, Abby Rose, could you please elaborate on that? While I would like to ask, why not? Why do you think music does better than comedy in Second Life?
Well, for one thing, everybody loves music. Everybody loves music. Not everybody loves comedy. Everybody loves some form of music. I don't know anyone except for deaf people who don't love music. I mean, so that you have a huge audience right there. Secondly, I think the awareness of what's available as far as comedy.
Well, you know what? I disagree with you on that one. Deaf people can also love music, but they feel the vibrations.
Right.
Oh, that's what Kane says, that they can feel music.
I mean, they can't hear everything, but, they can feel the bass or the vibrations. I've heard this because I have deaf friends, so I know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. It's true.
It sounds like a joke.
Let me throw something. Let me throw something out to you. We have musicians and DJs here, and former musicians probably, or musicians in the audience. Someone came to me a while back, a club owner, and said, "Why don't we start a confederation?" They called it, where we set a standard as to what will pay a musician. Now. And I said, I think that's been tried before, and I said it fell right on its face. Should there be a top limit? Should there be a top where we say, okay, no matter if you do an hour set, we pay. Now this sounds like unionizing to me, but we pay let's say $3,500. which is what, about $16, right?
Yeah.
And I want to throw that out there and say, well, if I could pay only $3,500 for a musician, I could afford 3-4 musicians a day.
Okay.
And
So
I don't know what anyone feels about that, but I said I thought it had been tried before. That's like selling tickets. It's the same thing.
So in your opinion, in such community as Second Life, where there are mostly poor people, because, well, Second Life is free of charge, and people are used to the idea that a lot can be gotten here for free. Who should pay the bill? Who should sponsor live musicians and clubs who actually provide entertainment and are one of the pillars of the community? Because many people come here to clubs.
Trump, yeah. Good.
God help us.
Linden Lab is making a good buck, Victor.
The problem is Linden Lab is charging for every little aspect of Second Life. If you want to have anything, or if you want to look good or do things, you have to pay for it. You have to purchase lindens. The money that they're making at this point is obscene. They don't give anything back to their residents. Even if you're a premium, you get 300 linens a week and a free linen lab home that you can't even stand in because of the lag, and everybody could watch you as you change. Linden Lab is not giving back to any of the people that are doing things here. There's creators that are creating amazing things. You have SL2 venue that's coming soon. There's people who are supplying music and entertainment. There's classes going on. People are learning. People go to church. People do all kinds of things on Second Life, yet Linden Labs, if you have a problem, they don't even support you. I was robbed on on Second Life in a business deal for 800,000 linden. Linden Labs did absolutely nothing. Zero. So if they're not doing anything to support their residents, they're not going to do anything to help encourage more industry in Second Life.
Well, I've been cloned since December. I've been cloned 3 times with my name. They've spelled my name a little differently, and people have gone out. People have, I have a lot of friends and musicians and whatnot, and if I have a regular friend or another club owner, and I walked up and say, hey, I need $5,000, can you give me 5,000 linden for the day? They would. But what's happened is I've had these people clone my name and go in and ask my friends for money. One made the mistake of doing it, and I had to do a lot of floor sweeping to get it straight. Went to Linden, they didn't do anything.
They do not help their residents, even with griefers, copybots, hackers, everything. They do not do anything. They don't care. They're making money. For them, it's strictly a business. It's not a community.
Excuse me, Bones has something to say.
Well,
So
I
let's
was just going to say, because if you're keeping it in the realm of music, Linden Labs will not go near. The reason why they only allow you to download 10 seconds of a WAV file is that they know that the DLC is not observed by BMI and ASCAP, which are the music licensing agencies for publishing. Yep. And therefore, Linden Labs does not want to go near it, because if they do, they will have to pay the royalties. The way it works here is that everybody can come in here and play anybody's music. Wherever the music shows up on a website where people come to listen, that's the place that has to pay the royalty. But right. Linden Labs kind of we don't want to have anything to do with it. We adhere to the DLC, which nobody else adheres to in the music business. And so it's such a gray area. And yet Linden Labs, who says music isn't important to us, they sent me I got on my iPhone this year an invitation to the birthday party, and it was all about how much great entertainment there was going to be there. So it's a real dichotomy what they're doing. It's like a two-faced kind of thing. So,
hypocrisy.
they're not going to really support that. It's really kind of left up to the community. And unfortunately, that's where we run into problems because everybody's got a different idea. It's part of the beauty of Second Life, and it's part of the downfall of Second Life as well, because I've tried to put together so many times with different musicians trying to get together and talk to venue owners, but everybody's here for different reasons. Some musicians come here and they say, I just want to, build international fan base. Other people come here and say, I'm a plumber and I just want to play on the weekends. And then somebody else comes in and says, I need to make some money as a musician. I don't want to play here unless I get paid. So everybody's got a different concept, and it's so difficult get everybody together to come up with one format that works for everybody. And I think it's a real stretch that we'll ever be able to do that.
Oh,
So
I
it's
don't think.
really, I think it's really up to individuals for somebody to set a precedence and do something that actually works, and everybody might follow it. I think that's a better call than us trying to get all these people together, because that's just impossible.
Well, that's why this woman who was telling me, asking me about setting a fee, Wayne Davis, as Randy always does, said, we were talking about Wayne Davis earlier, and
Yeah.
I didn't mention his name, but and Wayne's a hard worker. I mean, no doubt about it. And as are you, Bones. I mean, we don't, how much do you practice a week just to get a tune down, and who pays you for that?
Yeah, no, it's true.
But and then we tried again. We tried the entrance fees; those don't. He tried the entrance fees; those don't work.
Maybe what we need to do is maybe we need to go to a barter system and say, look, you're a graphic designer that runs that place. I'll come and play for an hour for you if you give me an hour of graphic design.
There you go.
Will that work? No, because nobody wants to do what we do.
Well, the first thing you have to do is say, "What do you make an hour?" You see, you have to have someone say that first, and then, so the first liar doesn't get a chance, as they say.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm going to
ChicagoSax,
interject
yeah.
on that because I've been a graphic designer for 25 years.
Yeah.
Okay, Rick, let's hear from you.
And also, I mean, I charge $25 an hour.
Right.
Ooh.
So, I mean, I would be willing to, of course, but I mean,
Right.
that is what I charge, and that's what I usually make. And that's been my expertise over the years, being a DJ, record label, and graphic designer. And also, yes, Michaela is a graphic artist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I can
it's,
also see if you charge one set fee,
Well,
all the ones with the greatest following are going to be overbooked, and the people with lower followings are not going to get booked at all. So, I don't know.
right. Well, that's, and it's what you just said there about, not getting individualized music. Yeah, if you hire somebody who's just playing somebody else's music, no. But if you hire an artist who's actually playing their own music, then yeah, then it's a fair deal. I mean, that's, I don't think it's I don't think that's a real stretch,
Nick did say it would be survival of the fittest. They would.
Okay, so why not, Rick? I have not heard from you yet. Who do you think should pick the bill in Second Life for such
I
type
kind of
of
agree with Randy always. Randy always had a comment there on local that if we get all of the sim owners, or the venue owners, the club owners to agree to have a cover charge at the door, people come in and listen to the music to cover costs, or at least the costs, maybe.
It could be tried.
Yep.
Well, that's what this one woman was saying. Somehow, and in fact, there's she's very tight with some of the performers, and they started a management group, which I think management groups, I think, I have to say this, they suck. I don't, those are leeches, that's a leech business. I mean, I try and not hire anybody with a manager. I'd rather pay the musician rather than, get charged another grand to, I pay the musician another grand rather than, put it back on top of the other, Gee, let me deal with you directly.
Yeah.
Forget about management groups, because I know a management group that last month, they made, I think they, last year they made $105,000 US.
Oh wow. And it's like in Second Life, or isn't?
They were
No, it's probably not.
charging to manage acts, and the thing is why do you need, why I don't need a manager in real life. If I'm good enough, I bring people in, ask them to come in and say, okay, come on in and hear me.
Oh yeah.
I don't
It's
like
about creating the jobs. An
Part of the
inspector for an
problem.
inspector. Yeah, what's up? Leila,
Part of the
you got some-
problem is many people want SL fame. They think there is such a thing as SL fame. Their heads get very swollen and huge, and their egos get boosted, and they want other people to handle their things. What they're forgetting is that it's Second Life.
Yep.
Yeah. Where everything is voluntary. We do what we do just because we like what we do.
But just remember that Second Life is this 3D virtual world, and a lot of people have come in here. A lot of musicians, when I started playing here, were really looking for new ways to promote and sell product, because music is a business. We are artists, and the only way that we stay alive is by writing and selling our material to somebody and building our fan base. So in reality, I know everybody here says this shouldn't be a place to earn real life money. It's just a place to have fun.
I don't agree with that.
Enjoy it. No, I know, but
I know
think-
millionaires that are on Second
Right.
Life. They've earned
Right.
millions of dollars.
Right.
I
From
think
clubbing?
if you could do that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that there is that potential here, not only for somebody to come in and not spend a penny and have a great time, but there's also the opportunity to make money. We're on the net. This is this has incredible potential on so many different levels. So
Well, even some of
it makes it tough for everybody to find the same middle ground sometimes. Somebody's saying, no, I just want to play here and I shouldn't have to pay for anything. And somebody else is going, I'm trying to do this here. So it's tough to find the middle point.
Yeah, well, everything on the grid is an art form of one way or another. It's the artists, it's the people who designed the couches we're sitting on, it's the people who it's everyone, it's the comedians, it's the dancers, and we're all spending time out here doing things. And should we get paid for it? Yeah. But not any exorbitant fees. 25 grand for a sex bed is a lot of money.
That's true.
At least it's got to be a really good one.
Yeah, right. You got to have, you got to bring you dinner too, or something.
I kind of feel like we're digressing a little bit. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
wondering if,
Let's wrap it up.
I'm wondering if there's any more questions from the audience about,
Oh yes, of
more,
course.
more of the music industry or the entertainment industry as it were.
Anything you were too ashamed to ask to the DJ? You think if there is something too personal to ask today, anything goes. We have the representatives of the professions over here, so if somebody has a question they always want to ask to a DJ or a club owner or musicians or even a comedian, please go ahead. We're giving you some time for this. Okay, meanwhile, I would like to go through the local chat because there has been a conversation going, of course. Randy always suggests that people can share regions to keep costs down. That's actually a good point because, you don't have to open a club to DJ in it. You can just go to another club. Leila,
Well, owning a region is a problem because even you find out that when you have I guess I have a club as well as I'm a musician, and I came into Second Life to look at both sides of the coin, and that's the reason I did this. I mean, the way I did it. But you know, when everybody gets in, there's a lot of lag, and people don't like to hang around lag. So if there's 5 clubs on a sim, and it gets busy, and let's say that Bones is playing at one, we've got Voodoo Chilton at another, we've got someone else, and it creates lag. And no one likes lag. No one will. It is a way of life. I understand that, but at the same time, it's not. It's nothing that people want to do. They don't want to experience that, and they will leave a club if that's too laggy.
Yeah,
This
of
is
course.
true.
Yeah, Leila and ChicagoSax, since you said that you are a club owner, also this question goes to both of you. And actually, if anybody else also owns a club, you can answer it as well. How hard is it to find those people who would work at your club, like musicians, DJs, hosts, and what do you offer them to lure them?
Well, as a club owner, DJs are not hard to find. However, quality DJs are harder to find. And I know in my establishment, we have certain standards and we want quality. We also have many RL DJs and producers that just log on just to spin for us, which is amazing and wonderful. They make original tracks for our club and do amazing things with their music. I do find a problem hiring hosts that just don't spam and actually can carry a conversation with the crowd, because that's our style. That's what we like. Managers, I would say, is the biggest problem for me as a club owner, is to find managers. I'm fortunate to have the team that I have. They're all amazing. However, when looking for a new manager, as I am now, there's so many venues that most of these managers work from place to place to place to place, and at Woods Club we require exclusivity, so it's much harder for us to hire staff when it comes to a manager. Again,
that's interesting.
Yeah, we do things our way, and we want our team to be focused on our club, not worrying about their next set at another club and then their next set at another club after that, because that creates too much confusion. And all of our managers are exclusive to Woods. They might host in other places, but they won't manage anywhere else. That's kind of important for us, and our team really has grown and become so solid because of that. I spam all the time on Facebook application. You know, we have like Google applications and all that, and it's impossible. Barely anybody applies because there's such a saturation in the electronic music scene. I try to go out of that scene and go to maybe places where I just might see somebody in locals at a random club that I would probably never go to because it wouldn't be my taste. And if they're having fun in locals or something like that, I might approach them to see if they would want to maybe have a job, because the scene that I am in is just filled with people and filled with clubs and filled with the opportunities for so many people to work in so many different places. It's really hard to find quality in a host or quality in a manager. It's not a simple thing.
Well, it's the same thing with a musician. I hire musicians. Yeah, my club has a theme. It's a jazz blues club, so I hire that. It's not to say that I have any preferences, but at the same time, it's what I like to hear myself. I manage my own club. I'm there for every gig. So I book myself I don't have the club running every night because I don't want to. So that gives me a chance to play then, and I don't have to worry about I don't have to worry about getting IM saying, oh, well, no one sent out notices. I make sure notices go out because I'm there. That's my off days of playing, or my on days at the club.
That
But it's,
is the right way because you still have fun and SL and get out there to see what's going on. And I think that's important, is to get out there and see what else is going on as a club owner.
oh yeah, I get to.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You were sorry.
And running your own club, I agree. Being open every day, it becomes a real grind. That's why I don't do that anymore. And I also am at every set possible that I could be at. And I plan a schedule and I book all the talent for the week. And, you know, you have to be very hands-on.
Yeah, I agree with that. A good hostess is important always, you know, and I try and stick with one that so I absorb her time 2 nights a week, and then the other night she works and she's quite successful in Second Life, well liked. As far as the musicians go, I like musicians who can warm up to the crowd. In other words, you know, they once told me when I first started, don't read local. Well, that's not the way to do it. You know, it's not for me at least. I enjoy interacting. I'm as good as a hostess out there at times because maybe I don't play enough tunes. Someone once said, "Keep, you know, play more, quit talking," and other people say, "No, we like them talking." You know, so it's
It depends on personal taste.
Well,
Okay,
it's the
guys.
interaction too. You got to
But
become a person.
Should I just
ChicagoSax,
address
Leila, please
Can I just- I'm
wrap it up
sorry.
and we'll go to the questions.
I just wanted
Okay?
to address Andy and Abby's comments in local, if I can.
Okay, sure.
Okay, promoting other venues. Most clubs won't do that because it's competition. However, I do promote other clubs, especially when we're closed. Jazz has a club called Urbana. I support her 100% and she knows that. I share her flyers. I've even spammed for her. The Trip, he owns Energy Club. I constantly support Energy Club. He knows that as well. I promote him. Even in my staff group, I support. And one of our other good friends, Frank Eisenhardt, who owns a techno place called Boiler Room, we support them 100%. We try to build a community between clubs. Unfortunately, there are always going to be people who do not want to be a part of that.
Well, that's jealousy, and the thing is, there's no room for that here. You know, it's not like,
I agree.
you know, if everybody competes, this is working together is what it's all about. If everybody competes, you know, no one wins.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on.
There's no way to win when there's nasty competition.
ChicagoSax,
I mean, it would be great if we could all support each other. Definitely. I mean, in a perfect world, in a perfect Second Life world, you know.
I would like to add that Abbey Rose probably means that not only clubs, music clubs, the promotion of music clubs, but also like other entertainment venues like theaters, comedy clubs. Do you believe in that? Let's take turns in answering the question. ChicagoSax, go first.
I want to say with Abby's, what she just said, well, Hooligans started promoting Lauren's. At Lauren's, my buddy who was there before me, we promote Hooligans and we promote the other club, the Comedy Factory. And then the Streetwear Live, we do videos of people. We've done a lot of musicians, as a matter of fact. And Nick puts those around and on YouTube and other places. And we have done the Racers Island, and that has really grown the support we've had at the comedy clubs, at Streetwear Live. And I think promoting just everybody has really helped us to get a wider, broader group of people involved in the things that we do.
Okay.
Well, I think that streetwear has really added something to Second Life, and I appreciate what you've done. I appreciate you giving everybody a bit of variety as well. Not only the musicians, but things like this where we get to air things out a little bit and invite some of the people who might not know the inside and the outside here.
Rick, please. Do you believe in promotion of other venues, not on the music clubs?
Yeah, of course I do. I think it would be a really good thing. Like I was saying, I think if we were able to work together, I mean, how could that not be a positive thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Leila,
I mean,
do you
but
have?
like Leila
Oh, you.
said, I'm sorry. But it can, it's not always easy. You know, yeah, we should definitely be working together, Jess. I think that it would only help everyone.
Yeah, of course.
You're
You
right there,
finished?
sir.
Just making sure. So, or do you have anything else to add, Rick?
No, that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Leila, you have said already about clubs collaborating. Do you have something to say about not only music clubs but other venues, the potential collaboration?
Um, I think there's a place for everything. I think if I know of another club who collaborated with other people, and they had their DJs, and then they went into live singers, and then had their DJs and live singers. I think it depends on the crowd, your crowd of your establishment. I think working together and having some kind of coalition would be beneficial to the entire community. Unfortunately, that takes a lot of work and a lot of people willing to overcome the worry for just their venue. Less, I guess, selfishness and more of a combined effort. But the way I know, like, the electronic music scene is, it just mostly does not work that way. It's too
Well,
much
you know,
of a competition.
Understand.
you know, the problem with a committee is they say a camel is a horse that was built by a committee. So you have to you really have to almost like get everybody's input for a couple of months, maybe even a year, to then to get to finally sit down and say, okay, as you know, you have one meeting, you have two meetings of club owners, such like something like this, or even bigger, and where everybody gets a voice and puts their ideas down, and then someone filters them out. But it takes time,
Of course.
you know, and it's nothing that can be done overnight.
Oh, no,
And
that would have to be a work in progress. Yeah.
I agree with you. Why? I totally agree with you there.
Boss, have you got something to go into this?
Yeah, I just say that you know, I think it's really, I mean, this is all wonderful and it's great to have these discussions, but when it really gets down to is just you just having a good time. I mean, that's the key to all of this. We all aspire to get better at what we do and to have things better here and there, but you know, the real key to everything here is just about, you know, going in and enjoying the music. If you're a player or if you're playing records, enjoy playing records. If you're dancing, whatever, it's all about having fun. So many musicians used to come to tracks and they'd be great studied musicians who were really good, and they couldn't get 5 people to their shows, but Bon Bon Bubbles, you know, who had 75 people, but she couldn't sing in tune. She had 80 people at her show, and they used to say, "Why is that?" And I'd say, because it's not necessarily about the art, unfortunately. What it is about is it's about having a good time and interacting with people and making friends, and that's really what I think really carries any venue through here, any musician, anybody who's doing any type of performance thing. That's what,
Boss,
and that's
Boss,
what makes
excuse me.
it good for audiences.
It's called
But
camaraderie.
the question was about collaborating between clubs and other venues that provide
Yeah.
other types of entertainment.
Yeah,
Do you
that's what
have
I'm
to say?
saying.
Oh.
It's not so much necessarily about collaborating with other clubs, because it always gets down to the same conversation. I just think that we just need to remember that we came here to have a good time. That's the reason why I'm here. I come
All
here
right.
to have fun.
Okay.
That's it.
So another question
Hey, when this
comes.
becomes a job, I'm leaving.
Another question comes from Randy Always. I'm going to copy it so everybody can see it. He asks, but it's not to copy. Okay, work. There we go. So he asks, why can't you all work together? Can you really?
Well, I think we're trying, and I think that every day it's like as Bones said, there's no solution. It's just a matter of trying to arrive at one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay,
there's
Rick?
nothing that
Oh.
there's no perfect world out. If there's no perfect world,
Okay, Rick, have you got something to say on that? Can you work together with somebody?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll reiterate, I think it would be the best thing to do. I mean, sometimes there, people like all different kinds of music, and, if somebody wants to come and listen to house music or something like that, then we can say, hey, you should go and check out this live musician. But I think we have to do more communication with each other for that, to allow that to happen. I mean, it's not going to happen without that. Communication is key, I think.
that's it. Just like a marriage.
Yeah, and without that, it's not going to be possible. So, I mean, and we have to meet each other to be able to do that too.
So, like,
So I mean, that's part of it, I think.
understand that is pretty much goes down to the beginning of the conversation when we were talking about supporting each other, going to each other's gigs, right?
Yeah, like at the end of every show that we have, comedy, any place, we always announce the other places of comedy and the Racers Island as places to go and tell them what great groups they are and say, anyone want a landmark? I am me or Catboy. And so people I am us, and we give them the landmark. And so Racers Island's getting bigger and more people are going to all 3 comedy venues.
Sure, I'd be willing to. I mean, it's a matter of sitting down. In fact, there'll be 2 club owners at the jam that are there, and one of them was the one that started this, put the buzz in my ear, and we're going to discuss it further, and it would be a great thing. I mean, and there's nothing wrong. Listen, if I'm not open, why can't I go promote Bones? Bones, I bring more people to your play, to tracks when they say I'm thinking about performing in Second Life. First place I bring them is to you.
Uh-huh.
And not only that, but it's a unique place because you're informative there. And I'm giving you some good height there.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Chicago. But you've always been that way, man. I think that's. I've never advertised or done anything. It's all been based on other people, trying to help other people. So I'm all for talking about, all of the talk is great. And I think, helping other people out and sharing ideas and all of that. But I still think there's a lot to be said for whipping out a dancing cow for half an hour.
Yeah. Or telling an hour's worth of jokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Monkey, whatever animal you want to dance on.
Well, why not does it? And other comedians do. So somehow we have an hour worth of jokes. Okay, so Leila has not answered yet. Leila, have you got anything to say on working together?
Woods Club has started working with other clubs. Energy and Woods Club are planning a major event together. So there's a collaboration there. I do support them. They know this. I also support other clubs like Relax Club or Urbana. When I do go to all of these clubs, I always mass TP my list. I try to bring as many people as I can with me because why not make it more fun for everybody there? I have a lot of fun people on my list that like to talk and like to have fun. So I try to support people that I care about, especially, or venues that I care about, as much as I can do. We're on summer hours right now at my club, so we're only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the time being. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you could find me at other places, and you'll see me with a crowd because I'm TPing and I'm trying to support, and I'll spam for them, and I'll do all these things because I feel strongly about these places and want to support them and see them succeed as well.
All right.
I make this offer all the time. If anybody wants to use my club on days I'm not open, go, please. You're more than welcome. DJs especially, because it's like DJs are great. They require, and from my standpoint, from my timing, they require little maintenance from me. They run their own program. They're pretty much self-encapsulated, and that's out of respect. I'm saying this.
Right. And I'd like to say something like that's a subject that we should tackle is the open stage, because I think it's a wonderful thing and a great opportunity for everyone.
My calendar's up there, and I tell people, go look at the calendar. You want to do 2 hours, you want to do an hour, go, please.
Nice. Okay, guys, we really need to wrap it up because at first the show has been planned to go for 1 hour, but we're already doing 2 hours. It's a fantastic conversation, but let's wrap it up. So, final words from all of you. Interns, ChicagoSax, you first. Rick, Leila, why not, and Bones, go.
Well, I think very much. Thank you very much for having us here and for having me here. And I'm sorry I was late, but at the same time, it's a great forum as Abby has provided here, and that you've all provided, and it's great for us to sit down and to throw ideas at each other and to open. You've opened my mind in many cases. Thank you very much.
All right, Rick.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I want to say the same thing. Thank you for having me here, and it's I've learned things that I didn't know. I didn't know comedy existed in Second Life.
There we go.
I had no idea. So thank you for having me, and it's been a good experience, and I think more of this would be beneficial to all of us. So thank you.
Definitely. Leila.
Well, of course, thank you for inviting me and having me here. I would like to say thank you to all of the panel as well, because I did learn a bunch of stuff today, and I look forward to visiting your venues and shows. It's nice to meet people from all over the grid. So thank you, KT, for bringing us all together as a group, and thanks to the audience for participating and having such great questions.
Thank you very much. Why not? I believe she is AFK because she said she is going to be in and out, unfortunately. So while she is AFK, let's go to Bones. Final words.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks, KT. I appreciate you asking me to come at the last minute, and it was really nice meeting everybody. And definitely, I haven't gone out to a lot of the DJ clubs, but Rick, I want to go catch your show, and I definitely want to go to your place, Pumpkin. I think, and I definitely want to see, go to some more comedy shows because I always thought that was a great idea in here. So I appreciate you asking me, and I really and Chicago. It's always good to see you, man.
Okay, brother. Good to see you as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, and right back at you guys. And nice to meet you. And I also want to just add one more comment too. Yes, thank you for the audience for being here with us, and thank you, Kate, for doing this.
Kate,
yep,
it's all right.
Nice crowd.
Yes, I myself enjoyed it tremendously. Thank you very much for making this debut show a real great fun. Now, as I promised you, you can promote your venues. Please go ahead and post your group links and in the local chat if you are interested in promoting.
Oh, you could find Chicago's place out there. Just search for it.
Okay. So yeah, there's Chicago's place. Rick has said that he is not going to promote himself over here, but nevertheless, remember, he's a great DJ, so if you encounter this name, by all means, go ahead and enjoy his gig, or turn the music off and enjoy the crowd, like we have agreed. Next, Leila. She is the owner of Wood's great electronic club. So if you are into the electronic music, You can message her for a landmark or just search for Woods. It's one of the first positions in search. Next, why not? She is a comedian, a representative of a very interesting genre in Secondlife. She performs at 3 places, I believe. It's Comedy Factory, Lawrence Place, and our own Hooligans Roadside, also owned by people who provide this venue, people who are owners of Streetwear Live. So definitely check those places out. Bones, since we got you at the last moment, would you mind promoting your venue yourself?
Sure. I mean, the best thing I'll be playing on the 30th of September. I haven't been playing for a while. I've been taking a break, but I'll be playing yet another benefit for Stand Up to Cancer, and you can just search under events. It's on September 30th. So if you want to come and check out what I do and stuff, more would love
That's
to.
real sweet of you.
May I interject one more thing here, because it's these don't happen often. The SL Twin Cities Jam will be broadcast on video, and I'll try and get the link earlier. It's usually on brucelomaski.com. If you find Bruce, LOMASKY.com, Bruce films a lot of these, records a lot of these things, and he'll be there recording, and they're all archived, so you can see 3 days of live musicians, and
Nice.
it's a great thing, and you can see people who don't look like what you think they look like.
Okay. Of course, thank you everybody for joining us. Lovely voice panel, lovely audience. It was great that everybody got to participate in the conversation who wanted. And final word, this has been recorded and it will be posted on YouTube, so you can share with your friends if they're interested in the music entertainment industry conversation. And do not forget, you can always join the subscriber of Streetwear Live, and then you will be the first to get the video. And with that said, again, thank you very much. This is definitely not the last show. Next show will be on a different subject, so subscribe, and you will know when it happens. You will be heard.
Well, thank you,
very
KT.
much. Okay, Nick, you can stop the recording, I think.
Thanks again, everyone. It's been great.